Here's everything you need to play the 7th continent. First, the character and campfire figures. Then the 8 dice we will be using to materialize the items we find and craft along the adventure. The rulebook, of course. 4 player aids printed front and back, showing the action sequence, the different existing actions, what the various icons mean, etc. Then you have the discard pile, where you will discard action cards. And finally, the most important part, the 3 trays containing a few dividers and hundreds of cards. Now, the first divider explains how to sort cards in the box, which is what I'm going to explain right now. First, you place the satchel and journal card, the character cards, the curse cards, and their corresponding clues. Then the skill cards, I'll put one right here, and the advanced skill cards. Now, to distinguish an advanced skill cards, there are 2 things. You can see the laurels in the back of the stripe right here, as well as the purchasing cost of the card, because advanced skills cost experience points, which regular skill cards don't. Next come exploration cards, these cards that must be sorted by area 1, 2, 3, etc. They have a foggy back, like this. And I'll put this one right here. And they're sorted by area 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 9 in the base game, and up to 10 with expansions. And finally, the bulk, the adventure cards. Adventure cards may have a green or a gold back, and golden cards must always be placed after the green cards bearing the same number. These cards are sorted by ascending number 1, 2, 3, 17, 18, 20, up to 50, 100, etc. So you will split adventure cards every 50 numbers. Typically after this one, you should place 50 to 99, and then 100 through 149, and so on. And finally, there's the divider called the past, which represents the play area where you will store any adventure and exploration cards discarded during the game. Then the banished cards divider, behind which you will store any cards that get banished during the game. And finally, the save divider, behind which you will first put these cards that are used to save the game. And once you have saved the game, you will store here all the cards you need to save for your next session. Now let's see how the game plays out. So we'll now set up the game for a 2-player game. The first thing you need to do is take the satchel and journal card, which is a play area, where you will store all the cards with a journal icon, like this. And this card shows you what you're allowed to have depending on the number of players. In our case, 2 players, we take 3 dice each, 3 for Ludovic and 3 for myself. And these dice will be used later to materialize the items in our inventories, those we will find or craft during the adventure. We'll see that later. The second step is to choose the characters you will be playing during the adventure. So we'll take all the available characters. You can read their story on the back. And I'll choose Ferdinand, and Ludovic chooses to be Kilian. Now we will return the other characters to the tray. And looking at the cards, each character has an ability, and look at this orange hand, it means it goes to my hand. So you can keep this card in hand or lay it in front of you, whatever you prefer. Next, you take the skill cards you will play with. That is the 5 skill cards, those with a blue hand in the top right hand corner. The 5 skill cards that belong to each character taking part in the adventure. All of the other characters' cards are returned. Then take the remaining cards, which are the basic skill cards common to all players, and shuffle all of these cards, basic and character specific, to form the action deck. The action deck actually is common to all players and will be used to perform actions during the game. That's for the action deck, and the last thing you will add to the action deck is a few curse cards. Curse cards have a skull icon, like this one, and today we'll choose to fight just one curse, which we recommend for your first game, and this curse is the Voracious Goddess. The name is written right here. This card has a blue back, just like the other action cards, so it'll go into the action deck, and we'll also add, to spice up things, 4 generic curse cards called Death is Lurking. They also have a skull icon and a blue back. Now I'll shuffle these 4 cards into the action deck, and the deck is now ready for the adventure. Now I'll return the other curses, and go take the clue card that matches our curse and will help us fight and lift it. As you can see here, the title is the same as the curse we chose, Voracious Goddess, so we'll read the text on the front and check out the hints on the back. This card has a journal icon, so as I explained, it gets stored under the satchel and journal card. Now, a very important thing, the aim of the game is to lift this curse. So if at any given time the game allows you to get rid of the Voracious Goddess curse card, and it will be clearly stated, then it will mean you have beaten the curse and won the game. This clue is something that should help you achieve that goal. This very clue card reads, begin the adventure by putting a 0-10 card into play. Each player places their figure onto it. So I'll go get the 0-10 card. I'll put this one back underneath the satchel and journal card. I'll go get the 0-10, and there are two of them, one with a green back and one with a gold back. And the rules state that given the choice, I must take a card with a green back. So I'll return the other one, keep the green one, read the flavor text at the back, and then flip it over, revealing the terrain where we will start our adventure today. As requested by the clue card, we'll put our figures on this terrain. Now, look at these orange arrows here. They mean we should put exploration cards into play in the spaces they point towards. These are cards with a foggy back. I'll take two at random that belong to the right area. Area 1 here. And these cards are random events that will happen to us while exploring the continent. Sort of an allusion to the fog of war from video games when we were kids. And they're random events, and yet thematically consistent with the area where we are. Namely, here we're outdoors on seaside terrain. Before we start the game, we put the past divider into play. It's a play area where we will put the exploration and adventure cards that we discard during the game. Any action cards that get discarded will, however, go to the discard pile here. Now, how to play the 7th continent. We will play consecutive turns, and one turn consists of one player getting to take and perform one action. And once the action has been resolved, then another player, any player, will get to take an action unless the previous player wishes to play again. In that case, they can ask the other players if they agree, and if they do, the player may take another action, and possibly another one after that, and so on. Actions are represented by a white square with a small icon. You can see all the different actions on the player aid here. You don't need to know them all by heart. You will be able to take any action visible on the terrain card you're standing on. For instance, I can go visit the cliff and later on move to another terrain card. Or one visible on the permanent event cards attached to your terrain card by a large arrow such as this one. In this case, I can look for a path through the fog here or here. Or one visible on a card you have in hand, blue hand, orange hand, green hand cards, or on an item in your inventory, or on a journal card stored under the satchel and journal card. An action always features two things. Its cost in a blue diamond, that is the amount of energy you need to spend to perform the action, and its difficulty in a gold star, that is the number of successes you need to perform the action successfully. So the higher the cost in the blue diamond, the more energy the action costs, and the higher the number in the star, the harder the action. An action takes place in multiple steps, and we're about to explain this right now. So we discuss and decide that Keelan plays first and goes to see that cliff to the east. Now we'll resolve this go see/investigate action that has a cost, as shown in the blue diamond, of 1 or more, meaning that Keelan needs to draw one card from the action deck and may decide to draw more than that. That would be useful if she wanted to obtain more successes, but this action requires 0 success. It's super easy. So during the cost step, Keelan chooses to draw just one card and sets it aside. During the result step, Keelan reveals that card and we count how many successes she gets. In this case, she needs 0, so the action is a success. The card is a skill card, and Keelan during the skill step may add it to her hand. She has acquired a new skill that she can use later on. Actually, it shows a new action, a think action that she can decide to take on one of her future turns. Then, during the discard step, Keelan would discard the other cards if she had drawn more than one, because no matter how many cards were drawn, only one of them can be kept, and it has to be a skill card. And during the consequence step, the active player will apply the consequence, what's in the white section if the action was a success, or what's in the black section if the action failed. This action has no black section because it can't fail, so as a consequence of a success, we will draw the 005 card and see what happens. Here it is. You can read the flavor text, might be helpful, and then flip it over. Now this card features an ochre arrow showing the icon of the action that was just performed, which means it's a permanent event, and we will put it into play, making sure its arrow points to the terrain card with the character who performed the action, and making sure the text can be read in the same way as the other cards on the board. This permanent event shows a new action which can be taken from the terrain card we're standing on. And this action, as our player 8 confirms, is a climb action. Now another turn begins, and after discussing with the other players, we decide I will play and attempt climbing this sort of mountain, as it seems that the view from up there might be quite interesting. During the first step, the item step, I will use no items as I have no items in my inventory. So on with the cost step, I have to choose how many cards to draw, at least one. I will push my luck a bit because one card seems too short to succeed, so I think I will draw 2 cards. And during the result step, I will flip them over to see if I successfully climbed. Ouch, not a good start with a curse card. That's worth 0 success, as you can see. And the next one gives me just 1 success, so the action is a failure. Now, skill step, I can add 1 skill card to my hand, and this one enables me to craft a club. And discard step, I discard the other card into the discard pile. During the consequence step, I'll apply the consequence in the black section. You fall to the stony ground below. Each involved character, that's me, takes a 104 card. Doesn't sound too good, does it? So let me get that 104 card. As usual, you can and should read the flavor text on the back. On the front, I can read that I'm injured. Yeah, that happens when you fall from a cliff. It has an orange hand icon, meaning it's a state, and there's no limit to the number of state cards you can have in hand. And this blue crossed out diamond underneath means I got badly hurt, and I must immediately discard 1 card from the top of the action deck for each orange hand card I already have in my hand. For now, I have 1, so I must discard 1 card from the action deck. Now and only now, I add this new state to my hand. It shows a new action that will enable me to heal my injury and return the card. So if I don't want to be injured anymore, I'll have to heal myself. Now, during the hand size limit step, I need to discard down to my allowed hand size limit in terms of blue hands and green hands. You can see the allowed limit on the satchel and journal card. In this case, I'm good, so I need not discard anything. Now the action is over. So, we've quickly mentioned what happens when I draw a curse card from the action deck during an action. This card has no specific consequence apart from granting me no successes and therefore making it harder for me to succeed. However, later in the game, our action deck may have become empty, and then we will do as follows. We will thoroughly shuffle the discard pile, and from then on, whenever we need to draw or discard cards from the deck, we'll take them from the discard pile instead. Then, whenever at least 1 curse card is revealed from the discard pile, the game immediately ends and all players lose as a team. This is the main way that players can lose in the 7th continent. Now, back to our previous configuration, because we're still very far from running out of energy. And now we may want to start exploring the continent. So Keelan, she will take this Pathfind action. She'll go north to explore. This action costs 0 energy and requires 0 success, so it's super easy. She could choose to draw a card, but she decides not to. She'd rather save our energy for now. So we just apply the consequence, which is to flip the card over, revealing a random permanent event so it will stay in play as long as we don't resolve it. And here we have 2 new possible actions. The first one is a hunt action that we can take to hunt the seagull. The card is called Lunch. However, the action has a padlock, meaning that we cannot draw more than 1 card. There's no plus sign, so it's harder to hunt this seagull without appropriate equipment. The second option is to take this 0+0 action in order to go on our way and then discard the card. No matter what we do, after discarding the card, we'll apply the effect of this icon here, which means we'll replace the card with the adventure card that belongs in this space, in this case card number 007. Keelan, I suggest that for now we leave the seagull alone because we're not really equipped to hunt and our chances of catching it are really low, so I would like to take a turn and explore through the fog here. So I'm taking the 0+/0 Pathfind action. I draw no cards and flip this card, and ouch, I'm cursed. Really not a lucky day for me. Now this card is a temporary event, as shown by the hourglass icon up here. It means that it will be immediately discarded after being resolved. This event features an action with a red outline, meaning the action is mandatory, and all the characters that were involved in the action that summoned the card are compelled to take it right now. As I was the only one, I'll take the action alone. Now this Think Compose Myself action has a cost of 0 card and requires 2 successes. If I make it, I'll regain composure. If I fail, I take a 101 card unless I'm already tired, in which case I'll take a 103 card instead. Since I'm already injured, I kind of want to succeed while not spending too many cards. I could choose to fail to avoid wasting energy but with negative consequences, but I'll try drawing 2 cards. So with the first card I get half a success, which is worth nothing on its own, and I'm luckier with the second card. It combines perfectly with the first one, and now I have the 2 successes I needed. So now I can add one of these cards to my hand, and I'll choose the rope because it might prove helpful later to climb the cliff. And I'll discard the other card into the discard pile. Since the action was a success, I can take a 003 card, which is an experience point. I've earned my first experience point. It has a journal icon, meaning it will go under the satchel and journal card, and later in the game we will be able to spend this card in order to purchase advanced skill cards. So whenever I need to spend experience points, I'll return this card to spend 1. Now this card has been resolved, so I discard it into the past, and because a temporary event has just left the board, I'll put into play the 009 card, which belongs in this space. I read the flavor text, flip it over, and reveal the terrain, the first new patch of land we explore on the continent, and I place it as if it was a puzzle. And facing these orange arrows, I'll put new random events into play. So one here, meaning I can now explore to the south, or I can keep exploring westwards. And my action and my turn are now over. Now that we've discovered a new piece of land, we can move to it. So Keelan, I suggest you take your action. Okay, so Keelan wants to move to the new terrain. And I offered to take the action with her because when you're together on a terrain, you can decide to take the action together. In this case, we will also apply the consequence of the action together. So this is a 1+0 action. It requires 0 success and costs 1 card. And the consequence, shown by these arrows, causes the figures of all involved characters to move to any terrain card that is connected to the initial one by a continuous series of terrain cards. Now the special thing when multiple characters get involved in an action is that you may choose to lower the action's cost, increasing the action's difficulty by the same amount. For instance, if this action were a 4+0, we could choose to change it to 3+1, or 2+2, or 1+3, or 0+4. Obviously, as the game progresses and you collect more items, this will lead to interesting choices. In our case, it's a 1+0 action, so we'll just draw 1 card. Now Keelan reveals the card, it's a skill card, and she may choose to add it either to her own hand or to my hand because I was involved in the action. Since I already have 2 skill cards in mine, she'll just keep it for herself. And now let's apply the consequence by moving all involved characters' figures to the other terrain card. Just like so. And the action is over and a new turn begins. After discussion, we decide that we'll explore south together, so we'll take the Pathfind action right here, 0+0, so we don't draw anything, and we flip the card over and see what happens. This event is a nice one because we've actually found a life jacket, which is an item, as shown by the black die icon here. So we'll be taking a die to materialize this item in the inventory, and I suggest that I take the life jacket, alright? And place a die of value 4 on it. That is the number of times I'll be able to use the item during an action, during step 1 of an action, the item step. so after 4 times the item gets destroyed. The good thing about this item is that during certain specific actions shown here, I can benefit from nice effects. For instance, if I take the swim action here, I can lower the action's cost by 1 and or obtain 1 success. And if I use this one, I can draw 3 less cards, but this card gets banished. And if I combine both effects, I can perform a swim action by drawing 4 less cards, getting 1 success and banishing the card. Items also feature keywords, which are interesting in particular when you want to combine them together, which we'll talk about in a minute. So the life jacket is in my inventory, and we've discovered the 006 card that belongs here. So we'll put the 006 card into play, as well as a new random event opposite the new orange arrow. So Keelan, now that we have a rope, I suggest we should craft it and maybe go back to try climbing that peak again. So this skill here features an action, a 3+0 craft action, and we have the possibility to lower the cost, provided that we have the resource shown here, which is the vine resource. On our current terrain card, there's only stone and we can't use any for the rope. So we'll just pay the full cost of the craft action and draw 3 cards. But as we're taking it together, we'll choose to lower the cost, so we'll be drawing 2 cards instead of 3. However, we need 1 success to be successful. So now I'll draw the 2 cards, and the action is successful because we obtained 2 successes. So this is now crafted, and we get to choose which skill card we'll keep. I could keep this card because it has my portrait on it. I can't give it to Keelan, or I can decide to give Keelan this one, which I will do. So Keelan takes it, this one gets discarded, and during the consequent step, we'll turn this skill into an item. At this stage, 2 options. I can either create a new column in my inventory because I have available dice, or choose to combine these 2 items, thereby slipping the card underneath my existing item, like so. And in this case, if the new card and the card that has the die on it share 1 or more keywords, I can add up the durability of the new one to the value of the die. In this case, 4 plus 4 equals 8, but the die has only 6 sides, so I'll set it to a value of 6. The good thing is that it increases my item's durability, and I still have 2 available dice for future items that feature other keywords such as aggressiveness or stamina. So we've crafted the rope, now we could move. Oh, also one important thing, all character cards have an ability, sort of similar to item cards. They enable you to move at a lesser cost when you move to a terrain card that already has a character figure or a campfire figure on it. So I can move here with a move action. So I'll draw 1 card and add it to my hand, and move to this terrain. And now that I'm there, I can return at any time for a cost of 0, because since Keelan is here and the move action has a cost of 1, with this ability I play 1 minus 1 and join Keelan for free. This makes it possible for explorers to split up quite freely and come back together later without spending loads of energy. Alright, now I'm getting prepared to attempt climbing again. So I'll take this climb action again. The first step of an action is to use items, so I'll use my rope here, lowering its durability by 1 to help me climb. Its ability may lower the action's cost by 1, give me 1 success, and 1 success with a lucky 7. This special type of success works with an icon that can be seen on certain cards, especially advanced skills. This icon, a lucky 7. And the special success is worth 1 success for each lucky 7 that is revealed during the result step of the action. So it's a more random but a nice way to get additional successes. Of course, advanced skills come with more lucky 7s and therefore increase your chances of success when you take actions. So I have 1 guaranteed success with the rope, but I'll take no chance and draw 2 cards. And reveal them, and I get 2 lucky 7s plus 1 success, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. So thanks to my rope, as you can see, I've been able to climb the peak super easily, and I'll now apply the consequence after adding 1 last card to my hand. I can't keep this one, so I'll keep the other one. Alright, we're done with the rules. Let's talk about saving the game. In order to save the game, I'll take the save card behind the save divider. With this one, I can save the action deck, so I'll put it on top of it. This one, the discard pile containing all discarded action cards. All players must gather on the same terrain card, so Keelan, you can join me at no cost, because all characters have a discount of 1 card when they move to a terrain card that has an explorer or a campfire figure on it. Next, we discard all the cards on the board, except for the terrain card with the explorers, into the past. You will return them to their places in the box before the next session. Next, the satchel and journal card and its contents, the terrain card we occupy, and now we'll save the character. So I'll save this item here that has a durability of 5 by placing this card with a 5 at the top. So when I resume the game, I'll know it has a durability of 5. And finally, I'll store all cards from my hand underneath my character card, as well as my item. So we're done with Ferdinand, and now Keelan, she has no items, so it's even faster. Now I'll return the other save cards, store this behind the save divider. And these cards in the past, I'll return them between 2 sessions. And when we resume the game next time, we'll take the saved pile of cards. Keelan takes back her character cards and hand. I'll take back my hand, along with my item with its durability of 5. I'll put the terrain card back into play with all our figures on it, and new random events around it. By the way, the seagull we left alone last time may be gone by now. And I'll put the satchel and journal card back into play along with the cards underneath it, the discard pile here, and the action deck back to its place. And now we're ready to go again. And this is it. We hope these explanations help you play and enjoy the 7th continent, and we wish you good luck in your adventure.